Okay, very good. All right. I'm Melissa Arthur from Illuminate Guidance, and I am so excited to be here in Heather Woodruff Nutrition's Natural IBS support group. Thank you, Heather, for having me. It's so much fun to be here. You're so generous in sharing all of your knowledge here in the group. I just learned so much from you, and I'm really honored to be able to share some of the things that I've learned about the connections between purpose and wellness. So we're going to look a little bit today at about how living in alignment with our purpose supports our wellness and overall health. So many thanks to all of you who are here watching live today. And if you're here live, or even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and give a shout out in the comments and oh, good, Heather can see and hear me, awesome. It's always fun setting these up. Give a shout out in the comments and feel free to ask any questions along the way. I can see you and if you comment, and we'll just kind of keep this flowing. I want to make sure that you get the information that you need, and that you get all your questions answered. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Melissa Arthur. I am an integrative wellness coach with Illuminate Guidance, and I also own Westside Yoga in Lawrence, Kansas. So I'm coming here from the middle of the United States, and I'm so happy to be here. I also host a Facebook group for women called Own Your Inner Authority, which I invite you to join if you're interested. And I have a free download for you, the Own Your Inner Authority Quick Start Guide, which is all about knowing, trusting, loving, and being yourself. And it relates to what we're talking about today in a lot of different ways. So I'll mention that again at the end of our broadcast here. So Heather and I really enjoy collaborating together professionally, because we're both really interested in what happens at the intersection between ancient wisdom about health and wellness and modern scientific research. And my practice is grounded in Ayurveda, which is an ancient system of healing and kind of a sister science to yoga. And more modern research is coming out in support of the benefits of Ayurveda. And it's really exciting for me to pursue that study, because it helps my clients in so many ways. And in this era when it seems like every couple months, some new diet fad or wellness recommendation comes out that's completely opposite of the one from last month or the one from last year, that the landscape of information for how we can care for ourselves is just really overwhelming and confusing sometimes. And so coming back to Ayurveda, my teacher, Catherine Templeton, calls it a 5,000-year-old longitudinal study in how to support optimal health, vitality, and awareness. And so as an integrative wellness coach, I do some traditional health coaching, but I do a lot more. The integrative piece of my work supports clients to make changes in their daily activities and relationships and habits to better support their well-being. And my definition of wellness goes well beyond just the absence of disease, to include a consistent sense of satisfaction, enthusiasm, and joy in our lives. And really, I talk a lot about, it's about thriving, not just surviving. And it starts with owning our inner authority to know, love, trust, and be ourselves. It continues with cultivating internal strength, balance, and joy that radiates from the inside out. And it extends to really spark courage and inspiration to shine our light and share our unique gifts with the world. And so that's why we're talking about life purpose today. sharing our gifts with the world, understanding more about why we're here, what is our purpose, and how that connects to our health and wellness. So any questions so far, go ahead and type them in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, I will answer them later. So I hope that you will ask anything that you would like. So what does life purpose have to do with digestive health or health in general? The degree to which we're able to digest our food and our life experiences has a significant impact on our health and well-being. So I'd like to spend a little bit of time exploring this idea, both from the level of cause, so how living our purpose supports our health, and effect, how good health supports us in living our purpose. So many cultures around the world have a construct around living our life's purpose. And it encompasses not only your career path, but also your family and your community and whatever way you're in service to the world. So in Japan, Ikigai is a construct that translates to reason for being. And it's found at the intersection of what you love, what the world needs, what you're good at, and as it relates to your career, what you can be paid for. So in Japan, they're looking at life purpose through those 4 intersecting circles. And when you're in the middle there, you're solidly living in your Ikigai. In India's Vedic tradition, Dharma, which is translated as support, is the compelling force in each of us that longs to thrive and become who we were meant to be. The idea is that each of us is born with a unique soul purpose. It's hardwired. For the most part, it's unchanging, although the way we express it might change throughout our lives. Even if you're not aware of it, it has always been with you. And your long-term happiness and fulfillment depends on your ability to fulfill your personal purpose and make the contribution to the world that only you can make. Dharma is not something you consciously decide, but it's something that you can uncover throughout your life. Hi, Jason. Good to see you in here. Welcome. So most of us, if asked, what is your Dharma, would be hard-pressed to articulate it. It's not something in our culture that, we focus on our career, but really thinking about this idea of what is our purpose? Why are we here? In the context not only of career, but in our broader context of our service to the world, to our communities, and to our families, is something that takes a little bit of reflection and contemplation. And so if you don't have an answer for that today, that is perfectly okay. It took me a long time to uncover mine, and I'll share with you the way that I did it. At my yoga studio, we just wrapped up a year-long study of a book by Rod Stryker called The 4 Desires. And I really like the way that he organizes ancient teachings into a very useful format for us for modern life, and helps us make sense of that in today's world. He shares some really powerful exercises in this book if you're looking for a place to start studying and uncovering your Dharma. And he calls it a Dharma code, which is kind of a phrase or a guiding principle that you uncover through tapping into your intuition, through tapping into your inner wisdom, not so much through, trying to use your brain to think about it so much, but to kind of get underneath into your subconscious mind and really connect with that. And so it was through that workshop. Oh, Heather says she loves how all of these ancient cultures have placed importance on purpose. I know. We could use more of that today, I think. So that's what we're doing. That's why we're here. So through this workshop last year on Rod Stryker's book, we were engaging in this exercise to uncover our Dharma code. And really, when I got into my intuition, I started uncovering, you know, who is it that I have always been? What is that part of me when I'm in service to my family, my community, my world, my career? What naturally comes to me? How do I naturally, what's my default in those situations as far as service? And you know, it took me a while. I happened to identify strongly with the element of water. And so the properties of water, nourishing, connecting, and transforming, really kept coming up for me again and again and again. You know, my whole life I've always been a very nurturing person, and I've always, you know, taken people under my wing and really nourished and nurtured them. And no matter what I'm doing or where I am, I'm always doing that, you know. And connecting, I'm always connecting people and ideas. I love being creative at that edge where, you know, two things that don't seem to be related turn out that they are related, and to, you know, make sense of that for myself and others is really fun for me. And I'm always doing that. And transformation is kind of a way of life for me. I'm always growing and changing, and I'm always challenging and supporting others to grow and change. And so my Dharma code became nourish, connect, and transform. And it has been really a game changer for me to know that, because when I have doubt about a decision or an opportunity, you know, to do something new or choose among competing priorities, I go back and think about, am I going to be nourishing, connecting, and transforming? Because if I am, I know that I am in my life purpose arena, and that that's usually going to be the right decision for me. So that's just a little story about how this has worked in my own life. And so remember that your life purpose isn't just your career. It is your service to community, family, and the world. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them at this time. And if not, I'll just keep moving on. So at this point, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with our health? So I'm going to switch gears and start talking about that a little bit. So when we're living out of alignment with our life purpose, it sometimes feels like we're pushing a boulder up a hill. And we often experience an undercurrent of stress or emotional upset, or just kind of a low-level feeling of dissatisfaction that impacts our health and well-being, including our ability to digest our food and our life experiences. And at the very least, it leaves us lacking in enthusiasm, satisfaction, and joy. And so life just feels a little bit more challenging when we are living and using our gifts in a way that is not aligned with our true purpose. And in my experience, in living in alignment with my true experience, with my true purpose, when I've had the luxury and the, you know, knowledge and opportunity to do that, which we don't always have, and it's something that, you know, takes a little bit of adjustment to get into that. Life feels more like flowing downstream in a river. You know, there's a sense of ease that things just tend to fall into place without all that much effort. And it's like what it is that I'm working on is what the universe, what my community, and what my family actually needs. That's my gift that only I can share with the world. And so there's just a sense of ease and a sense of joy and satisfaction and enthusiasm that really supports our health and well-being. So there's some research by a psychologist named Stephanie Hooker that outlines 3 key ways that being aligned with purpose supports our health. So the first one is being cognizant of what matters most can help keep other frustrations and annoyances in perspective. So, you know, we all get annoyed at traffic, or, you know, at things not going quite our way at work, or, you know, any number of things. But when we are aligned with our purpose, we don't blow those little things out of proportion to the same extent. And conversely, feeling that our life is pointless creates more stress. So it allows us more time and space to focus on those little things that we don't want, because we're not grounded and centered in, this is what I'm here to do. I am single focused on living my purpose, and I'm not going to, you know, let traffic or, you know, something that doesn't go my way derail me from that. So the second one in Stephanie Hooker's research is that she has a study with preliminary evidence suggesting that people who feel as if their lives are meaningful may choose more effective coping strategies when faced with a problem or a challenge. So just healthier ways of coping, better skills at coping, and, you know, great for managing stress when you've got those coping skills dialed in and you've got yourself aligned with your purpose. And the third one is that people who have a greater sense of meaning are more likely to take better care of themselves, because they feel as if their lives matter more. And they've got this ultimate purpose they're trying to achieve, and health is the foundation for being able to do that. So that's a little bit about how clarity about your life purpose is supportive of your health. Oh, Heather says, good reminder that our purpose isn't just our career, but all aspects of our lives. Yes. Here in the West, we talk a lot about, we're really focused on our career, and it is very possible that even if you discover your Dharma code, or, you know, really align with your life purpose, and your job is not it, that you can still be in service to the community, to the world, and to your family in ways that fulfill your life purpose and help support your health in this way. So don't get too overwhelmed if you feel like you go down this path a little ways and you're like, I got to change everything. But we'll talk about that a little bit more here later in the live stream. Okay, so many of us become accustomed to a state of just surviving, and I want to talk a little bit about how better health leads to clarity of purpose. So we talked about how purpose can lead to better health, and now we're going to talk about it from the other way around. So oftentimes, you know, we go through life not feeling awesome, but we take care of our responsibilities, you know, try to enjoy our lives as much as we can, but we're not truly, truly thriving. And often we experience a health crisis or some other major life event that really wakes us up and causes us to look at the way we're caring for ourselves and what we're doing in a very different way. And so those of you who have been doing deep healing work with Heather, or shifting your health in other ways, may have noticed, or likely will notice once you get a little bit further down the path, that it shifts other aspects of your life. I experienced this myself, and I see this a lot in our students at Westside Yoga, that, you know, we think we're going to be doing some yoga and it's going to be good for our physical health, it's going to be good for our stress management, and we're going to be more fit and we're going to feel a little bit better. But then all of a sudden, we start looking at what we're eating in a different way. We look at our relationships in a different way. And what's going on around us and what used to be just fine kind of doesn't make sense in the same way that it did. And so when we're bringing our health into balance, it shines light on things that are out of balance. So if you're out of balance and your life is out of balance, it's all kind of one big stew of imbalance, right? But once you start to, you know, really do that deep healing and you start feeling better, you get more clarity in your mind, and you have more energy in your body, and new possibilities start to open up, right? Who has experienced that? Has anybody experienced that when they've done any effort to improve your health and well-being overall? It's very likely that you will if you haven't yet, and you're on a path where you're committed to healing yourself. And so, so I want to spend a little bit of time digging into this, because it can be kind of disorienting when that happens. So when our body and mind go into balance, we have this renewed sense of energy and mental clarity, and we want to make changes that help us own our inner authority and create a life we love that's more closely aligned with our purpose. And so it's overall positive, but it can be uncomfortable at first, because feeling dissatisfied with the way that things currently are, without a clear sense of exactly what you're going to do about it or where you need to go with it, is kind of a tough transition period. And when you do feel like that, try to remember that you don't have to change everything right away. Even though you want to, you just want to do spring cleaning and say, I need a new house, I need a new job, I don't want to do any of this anymore, I just feel so much better, I want to, you know, really do something very different. One thing at a time is the best way to initiate that kind of life purpose work and deep transformation. And so paying attention to how you're feeling and making the changes that feel easy at first are really supportive in this process. And from there, you know, continuing to take small, consistent steps in a direction that feels right in your heart, in your mind, and your gut, because now you have more clarity. You have more mental clarity. Your gut-brain connection is restored, and so your intuition is on point. You have the energy to do different things, and so all these new possibilities open up for you, and you can trust yourself in a new way because you have that clarity. So, getting clarity about what your heart desires and really, truly, deeply trusting yourself is a natural outcome of getting healthier in whatever way that you are. And it's also the first step in aligning more fully with your life's purpose. So I invite you to download my free Own Your Inner Authority Quick Start Guide, which is, the link for it is up in the introduction to this live broadcast, because it really helps to take you into your subconscious mind, into your intuition, and to start to explore why you're here and what your heart really desires. And it does so in a way that really helps take all of this information that I'm presenting and helps you apply it to your situation. And so that's my gift to you, and I would be really happy for you to have that and to follow up with me with any questions or anything that you're wondering about as you start to dive in and go through this process. So most importantly, to know that when you reach that point where you are ready to make some changes in your life and align more fully with your purpose, you don't have to do it alone. And it's normal to feel confusion and anxiety about your life purpose at any and many points in your life. And getting the support of a coach, a therapist, or another professional to help you is really important when you're feeling like doing something big, but not quite sure yet how you're going to do it. And so I hope that this has been inspiring and supportive for you, just to start making some new connections about this purpose and wellness connection. And I'm happy at this point to take any questions that anyone has. Hello, Brett. Nice to see you. Any questions? or comments about what we've covered so far. And if you're joining late here, if you're watching the replay, we'll post it so you can go back to the beginning. Heather says it's like the sky is bluer when you heal yourself and start to feel better. That's true. So many new possibilities just open up for you. Okay, well, I am not seeing any questions here on the live stream, but I will continue to watch the replay and let's see if there are any questions in the comments, and we will just continue this conversation through Facebook. And Heather suggested that I also post the Quick Start link in the comments, which I will as soon as we get off of here, or maybe even right now. Nope, I can't do it right now. So thank you so much, Heather, for inviting me, and to all of you who joined us on the live stream and all of you watching the replay. I'm so happy to sort of meet you and get to know you here today, and stay in touch. Let me know how I can be a resource for you. Thank you.